Good evening, everyone. As you heard, I'm the last speaker, so I hope you have still energy for the last presentation. My name is Vasek. I'm the head of carbon solutions at Timber Finance, and I will present you today what's timber construction and what is the role from timber construction in the carbon removal space. Basically, the first slide shows it already. Timber Finance, we are transforming industrial forests into long-term storage in the built environment. And how do we do that? So first of all, our mission is to decarbonize the built environment with timber investments and carbon investments. And we are doing that by two business lines or two business units. One's financial solutions, where we are providing new investment opportunities for all asset classes and asset owners to decarbonize their portfolios with timber investments. On the other side, the carbon solutions, where I'm responsible for, we are developing new investment strategies and opportunities for real estate investors as well as developers that they can benefit from additional assets. So this is also what we are talking today about. So I want to take a short step back. We all know this chart. It's based on the IPCC chart, and we see there that with business as usual, we won't reach our goals by 2050 net zero. Also with avoidance or emission reductions projects, we will miss the net zero target. So we need carbon removals or negative emissions. And there is an annual investment opportunity or need about 9.2 trillion Swiss francs. And what are carbon removals and traditional avoidance or emission reductions? I want to show it because some people don't know it. So first of all, the traditional avoidance projects, then in the end, we still have 1 ton of carbon in the atmosphere. And that's what we need to change. We need carbon removals that we get actually a netting and that we have a balance of zero. So then is coming, at least for me, the question, which kind of solutions are available at scale and how can we identify them and how can we invest them? So the IPCC realized in 2022 that we need carbon removals and identified 10 broader groups of carbon removal solutions. And there's also timber construction, one of them. So if I would be a state, like for example Switzerland, I would ask myself, which carbon removal solutions can I identify and prioritize and invest in so that I can reach actually my climate goals by 2050. So the ETH, the Science Center from the ETH in Zurich modeled a very interesting outcome actually, because they were asking that question. It looks a bit complicated, but it's really easy. It's made by the scenario in 2050 that we have a climate goal with net zero or +3, +6, +9 or +12 degrees Celsius. And then we were looking at, okay, how much would it be costing the state if we wouldn't have this technology, if that would be not available to us? So if we start from the left, pyrolysis, this biochar, has a low significance actually for Switzerland. Hydrogen technologies, which are newcomers actually in the space, there is a possibility, and there's also that they are, especially under high climate goals, very important. Then we are going to gasification as well, as same as hydrogen. And then we are going to direct air capture and carbon capture with gas. And they have actually a bright future, at least that's what I'm hearing every time. But in the case of Switzerland, it doesn't make so much sense because the cost would be immensely. So then we are looking carbon capture on cement. We heard earlier from NOAH23 that they are producing that. It's a very interesting step forward, but it's still available just in low scale. So this needs more and more time. And this is also carbon capture by waste, so burning waste. From 2030 on, the facilities will build on, but until 2040 they won't be available at scale, so we have then just 10 years left actually to reach our goals. And if we're talking about timber construction or here wood usage, we were discussing with the professor since 1 year about this case, and he was had always the opinion that we have to burn timber and it has more value to climate if we burn timber. After making the math, he realized, no, it's not true. We have to use it as long as possible in the construction, and that we can store it and also overcome the time that also the other solutions can be then complementary used at scale. And what's also important is that it's immediately scalable. So we can start from tomorrow on to build more and more in timber construction, especially in structural elements. So I'm not talking about facades or kitchen elements or floors or windows. We're talking about structural elements in multifamily high building rises that we can store long-termly carbon. So what is timber construction as a carbon removal? Because most people think still about the forest, and it's generally coded in the forest. But here in our space, in the European space or the industrial forest, we have to use them. They have different functionalities, and this is something what is really important, because over the x-axis you see the development over time, and over the y-axis actually the cumulative carbon uptake of a growing forest. And we see that the uptake is quite high and then reaches a saturation point. And from this saturation point, it comes actually to a risk that it releases carbon because of storm, of wildfires, what we see also this day of a many presentation, or in many presentation. So it's important that we change also perspective and that we shift this storage actually also in the built environment. So in which markets do we work in, and what is our goal? So we know that the construction market is traditionally well financed. They are responsible for 40% of the global emissions, and also 60% has to be rebuilt. So this gives actually also a great opportunity to reach our climate goals with timber construction, because it hasn't been actually used. In Switzerland we have a 15% ratio, globally it's 0.5%, so there is a lot of space to grow. We are combining that, what's actually unique, with the carbon removal market. We want to create an additive asset actually to the real estate asset. And we know that, or we have seen this today, that there's really an immense investment needed over time that we can reach net zero. And for the market or carbon removal market in 2030, it's around 40 billion. So we are combining these two markets for the real estate owners as well, or investors, as well as for the climate investors, that they can actually store carbon, and that they are providing actually their investments or their funds for our goals. So how do we do that? So we developed under an NOAH standard the first methodology for monetizing the carbon removal in timber constructions. We are now going into the implementation phase, where we are providing real estate investors and developers the opportunity to benefit from these carbon streams, and also with the opportunity to actually inset their own carbon portfolios within, for example, in the timber carbon removal investment fund, what is really combining then the two benefits from both assets. So I'm coming already to my end. I hope it was, as a last speech, not that boring or also informative. We are looking for like-minded partners, strategic partners. So if you have any question, please reach out. We are always open for collaboration. Thank you very much for your attention. I wish you a nice evening. Hopefully also a nice apéro, and